sponsored by Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, LSS Insurance, Young Truck and Trailer, DD Auto and Salvage, My Mattress, Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, Elements Restaurant, White Pine Funeral Home, ChemDry of Northern Utah, Aegis Home Health and Hospice, Les Olson Company, Prodigy Brewing, Cache Valley Bank, Jarek's Fine Jewelry, Darrow's Appliance, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, S.E. Needham Jewelers, and Golden Spike Electric. It's KVNU Aggie Call with Al Lewis and Eric Frandsen.
It's a painting of the football game tonight would be like I had painted it, because I have no artistic skills at all. But you know what? The Aggies won the game, and that's the most important under the circumstances. With all kinds of things going wrong tonight, the Aggies still win the game 17-13 over Colorado State and do win their second conference game, get to 2-1 in conference play, and do it without Cooper Legas after he did engineer one scoring drive in this game and got the Aggies the lead at that time, as I recall, 7-3 on that touchdown pass to McGriff in the first half. And then, as it turned out, again, he did not return after that. And it was Levi Williams who came in. And by the end of the first half, he also was injured. And the last snap of the first half was Bishop Davenport, the Utah State freshman. And then it was Davenport who engineered two scoring drives in the second half, enough to give the Aggies a 17-10 lead. Colorado State kicked a field goal, but Utah State wins this one 17-13 over at Fort Collins. And again, we are here for our post-game Aggie Call. We'd love to have you join with us. And it's Al Lewis with Eric Frandsen and Ryan Bohm, the former Aggie running back, joining with us tonight. And making the world healthier, cleaner, and safer, Thermo Fisher Scientific is one of our game day sponsors. We appreciate them. And guys, your initial reaction to tonight, and we're going to hear reactions, we hope, from folks, text line, phone line, but what do you think? Who's starting? Eric? You look like you're on the verge of saying something.
Sure. Well, it wasn't pretty, but Bishop Davenport, wow. I mean, dude throws a nice ball. He's
didn't complete many passes while he was in there, but boy, he got the touchdown on a great run.
He did, and you know what? We've seen this script before. Maybe that's why we shouldn't be too overly concerned when a Utah State quarterback goes out, because we've seen this many different times.
Yeah, but two went out tonight.
Yeah, that's true. Where a quarterback goes out and the next guy up comes in and helps the team advance to a victory. So it wasn't pretty, but a win's a win.
Ryan? No, just a second here. I thought I had your microphone figured out again, but I got to press one more button. I had it earlier. Let's try that.
Yes.
There we go.
Hey, it was ugly, but we got the W, and that's all that matters. And so, yeah, there's lots to talk about with this game, but, I mean, if you had told me that we were going to have our fourth-string quarterback in and we were going to be down at half, I wouldn't have given us much of a chance to win the football game. So the fact that we scrapped it together, defense played good enough, offense did just enough to win. We missed 2 field goals too. I mean, there was a lot of things that went against us.
Had a block punt in the game.
Block punt. The fact that we could scrape out a win, a conference win, an important win, it's fantastic. I'm elated that this was able to happen.
We gave up 2 times really good field position turnovers in this game. Our defense held it to 2 field goals out of that. So once again, our defense did, in a lot of ways, win this football game, besides Davenport and getting those 2 scoring drives. Our defense did really play pretty well. And again, Colorado State's on their third quarterback, too.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, honestly, I expected that Utah State secondary and even that the Utah State defensive front to create more turnovers today than they did. But give them credit for what they did do. They got after that quarterback. There were a lot of quarterback hurries and knocked him around, sped him up a bit. Gervin Hall with a great interception. Too bad it wasn't a complete pick six. But that defense did a great job today, considering some of the things that were stacked against him with the offense.
I mean, first off on the interception, nobody needed to block for him anyhow because he was going to go back all the way. And then he somersaulted into the end zone, and I don't know if they would have counted the score or not. Who knows with that deal? But Ryan, the leading receiver in this conference is Torrey Horton, number 14 for Colorado State. Now, they struggled with their passing of their quarterback tonight, but numerous times he had a chance to make catches tonight, and our guys knocked the ball away from him in the secondary.
Yeah, I'm sure we game planned for him. We always kind of bracketed him. We were able to get enough pressure on a young quarterback that he wasn't putting the ball in great places. And then, he did make a few good throws, and our corners got their hands in there and made some plays. So I got to tip my hat to them. They did. There was quite a few opportunities for guys to make catches, and we wrestled it out and fought for the ball. So, I think past breakups, we probably had more than we've had all year.
Yeah, I think that's probably true, at least hands-on balls and things like that. We'll wait and have to see what the final stats show on that area. And you could tell Daniel Grzesiak, he's got to be a little super excited to play his old coach from Nevada, and the old coach from Nevada singled him out as a guy to watch, and number 9 was a guy to watch tonight. He was really good for Utah State with a lot of pressures, and he made tackles and plays and things like that.
Took the pass.
Yeah, after I'll tell you what, the first couple of drives, we missed a lot of tackles and let their running back have a little bit. And after that, we seemed to, again, get tougher against the run that made a big difference in this game, too, on defense.
Yeah, the running game early on was they were getting gashed. They gave up big runs, but then they bowed up, and I think they got a little better at understanding their assignments and filling those gaps. And then Colorado State struggled rushing the ball in the second half, where that was really their strong suit, and taking some of the pressure off of their young, inexperienced quarterback. But credit Coach Bonda and those the players for the adjustments that they made in that second half to get the win.
Yeah, he had 92 yards rushing at halftime, Avery Morrow did, and he ended up with 116 yards in the end of the game. So that's much better. There's an adjustment that we made, that the coaches had to make. And I know that's been one thing we've talked about is, do we make adjustments? Have we done what we've needed to do? And defensively, they had to make adjustments. And Ryan, what does it do to an offensive play caller in Anthony Tucker to have to go through these kind of quarterbacks and change things of how he's doing? Because really, Lagat, other than the ball his arm getting grabbed and giving them a chance to score, we were moving the ball with Lagat. We were just having a tough time to get it in the end zone or finish off things, and we missed some field goals. But we might have really been able to run the score up in this game if Lagat stays in.
Yeah, I don't think it's a close game if Lagat's healthy. We were kind of moving it at will, really shot ourselves in the foot a couple times. But yeah, I think we win that game by, 3 touchdowns or something if he's healthy. But on the offensive coordinator front, it's tough because you really do lose part of the playbook when you change quarterbacks. Now, maybe not so much between Lagat and Levi Williams. Levi's not as good of a thrower, obviously, but you could still do a lot of quarterback run and things with him. You go to the fourth quarter, you never think you're going to have your fourth-string quarterback ever in a season. So the fact that I felt like the playbook was still pretty open. We threw the ball deep. He threw 2 or 3 times in that first possession. So they obviously have some confidence in the kid because they didn't come out and just hand the ball off 3 times, which I was afraid they were going to do in the second half, was just hand the ball off. And I didn't know how we were going to put any points on the board. But give him credit and give him credit to just step into those first few throws and march us down the field and get a field goal. That was huge.
It was really huge in the game. So, again, our text line's available, and it's 435-339-0321. Phone number is available, 753-5868 locally, 435-753-5868. You can use the outside 800-369-5868, but, again, nowadays I don't know if 800s make any difference. Everybody can kind of call the same local, but whatever. Give us a call if you want, or text us, and we'd love to hear from you. Let me take our first break, and then we'll come back and review more of Utah State's 17-13 win over the Colorado State Rams. That's 4 in a row now. Utah State has beaten Colorado State. And it's brought to you by Daryl's Appliance. They're on Airport Road with KitchenAid, Maytag, Whirlpool, you name it. And when your appliances break down, always Daryl's Appliance Repair is great, too. So we're on game day on both The Fan and KVNU, and you're listening to it, Aggie fans. Let's hear from you. It's your show. Aggies win, 2nd in a row in conference play, 17-13 the final.
For over 20 years, Aegis Home Health and Hospice has been providing health care to Cache, Box Elder, and Rich counties. Whatever or wherever your health care needs, Aegis' goal is to meet those needs. Aegis Home Health and Hospice core values are character, experience, and trust. Aegis, AEGIS, striving to provide the health care services you need. Aegis Home Health and Hospice. Call 723-9000 or find them at myaegis.com.
Elements has delicious lunch specials, 2 for $30, or the new soup, salad, and bread special for just $10. It's tasty and quick. Elements' lunch menu is full of scrumptious items prepared with a personal touch. Wood-fired pizzas are an excellent choice that include barbecue chicken and the bee's knees. The fresh battered halibut fish and chips with seasoned fries is always a hit. And don't forget the fan favorite Munster Burger. Casual or professional. Open Monday through Thursday, 11:30 to 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11:30 to 9 p.m. Visit theelementsrestaurant.com for reservations today.
Hi, this is Tyler. Recently, my father passed away, and White Pine provided the funeral services for our family. They were friendly, thoughtful, and attentive to every detail. You know, it isn't often that a loved one passes away, so it was very important to my family that everything be handled just right. Because my dad was loved by so many people, we had a lot of family and friends that traveled from out of town. I really appreciate how White Pine Funeral Services made sure everyone was comfortable and that the focus was where it needed to be, on my dad and my family. They really took care of us during this tender time.
Thermo Fisher Scientific is hiring for their manufacturing, distribution, and warehouse team. And that's great news for anyone seeking a rewarding career. Thermo Fisher offers positions across multiple shifts, competitive compensation, health benefits, paid time off, bonuses, and an excellent work environment. Help Thermo Fisher make the world healthier, cleaner, and safer. Visit job.thermofisher.com and search Logan. Thermo Fisher Scientific is an equal opportunity employer.
Aggie Game Day continues. Sponsored by Advanced Fireplace and Stove on News Talk KVNU and Sports Talk Radio, The Fan.
Utah State won tonight 17-13 over at Colorado State. Again, it was Bishop Davenport that was in there as the Aggie quarterback who ended up pulling out this game for Utah State. Again, with 2 scoring drives in the second half. And you can tell, Ryan Bohm, that this guy, he's athletic, and he does have an arm, too.
He's got some swagger, too, as a freshman to come in. And
well, he's played in big-time games down in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, he probably played in stadiums that were, 15,000
They
people.
said 30,000 were there tonight. I don't think so, but still,
No, he's definitely got some swagger. He's obviously got an arm. He threw a couple balls where there's a zip on it. He wasn't afraid to run. That touchdown was a great run. That was a great call for that circumstance. Get the young kid out on the edge. Give him an easy throw. If it's a throw, let him be athletic. So, yeah, talk about a bright future. Maybe there's a quarterback controversy again in a good way with the Aggies over the next couple of weeks.
He does have a brother named Bailey, who's a sophomore running back on the Utah State team. And, of course, this is a freshman out of Texas, a 3-star recruit named the Texas District 14 co-offensive MVP, first-team quarterback in his prep season in 2021. So here he is in 2022 playing for the Aggies. Threw for 7,400 yards during his prep career. With 77 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. He rushed for 1,600 yards, 7 yards a carry, 16 touchdowns, and had 5 100-yard rushing games, 3,800 yards as a senior, as a passer for this team that's down there. So he comes from Spring High School in Spring, Texas, to the Aggies. And again, well, there's terrific athletes down there, and they play big-time football, and he gets in and does what he had to do. The fumble that they had while he was in the game, the turnover, was not his fault. He handed it off to the running back, and the running back had the ball stripped out of his arms.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he came in and played great. I mean, and especially with these new redshirt rules where, he can play in 4 games and still be able to redshirt. If he has to play again next week, that's fine from a redshirt perspective, but get him some good time out on the field and then put that red shirt back on him, and hopefully Laga or Levi Williams is back and healthy. And so yeah, he gave us some great minutes, and I'm a lot more optimistic about this upcoming week, knowing that he can play. Obviously we'd love to have one of those other 2 back, but worst case scenario, he can sling it around.
And then we have to give, we've given Grzesiak credit. Eventually, MJ Tafisi started to make better stops and tackles. It looked like he was there a lot of the night to make defensive plays. We mentioned some of the guys in the backfield knocking the ball away, and you did get called for the interference there at the end of the game, but he knocked the ball away a couple times. But Calvin Tyler Jr., 3 straight games now of 100 yards rushing, 2.
Yeah, he runs hard. I like him. I wish we had We've got 2 small kind of slasher backs, and I like both of them. I just wish we had a bruiser or, somebody with a little more size, because he's not going to go get us. He's not going to run through anybody to get us a first down. And I'd love to see us go out and get a back that can go get 3rd and 1. With no question, but
he got the 3rd and 1 on the last thing to run out the clock.
That was a generous spot.
That was a generous spot.
I don't know if he actually got that.
I think that's true too. Advanced Heating, Air Conditioning, one of our sponsors. Remember, right now is the time for a maintenance program. You can get your service looked at for your furnace for the winter, and they bring you our post-game Aggie Call. Jeff wants to join with us on Aggie Call tonight. 753 KVNU is the number. Jeff?
Yeah, it's good to see Bishop come in on short notice, minimal practice, and do just enough. And yeah, his first attempt may not have been as good as Cooper's first attempt, but I looked it up and it actually was better than Bryce Young's first attempt, which was only a 6-yard completion instead of a 16-yard completion.
Okay. That's interesting. An interesting perspective there. Yeah, he threw a 14-yarder to McGriff and a 15-yarder to Vaughn that started the drive, and then Tyler ran for 15 yards that eventually ended up in a 48-yard field goal by Connor Coles after he'd missed a couple. That was right down the middle, which tied the game at 10. First possession of the second half for the Aggies. They get a 3-and-out. He comes back. Tyler runs for 20, and then Davenport himself ran for 3. Tyler 6. Davenport 19 yards down to the 7-yard line. Threw an incompletion from there, 3 yards, and then he did the 4-yard little rollout and run for that touchdown with 7:34 to go. That was the last points the Aggies had in the game, but they hold on and win 17-13. Okay, Jeff, anything else?
Oh, yeah. It would be nice to have a fully healthy Cooper back, but I hope we are responsible and don't have him come back too soon and turn it into a permanent thing. But at least we know Bishop can step up with, especially if he has better practice like a full week with the ones and that. But
I think there's some stuff there. I guess
Levi's kind of proven too.
Yeah, agreed, Jeff. It's if the trainers will evaluate things. They'll see if Levi or...
This is now a big deal in football.
Oh, yeah.
The evaluation of concussions with what's... The NFL's amplified it all big time now for everybody this year.
Totally. And you don't want to rush it back. You want to be careful. Obviously that's much more important than football. And so they're going to be careful with it. And, if that means that, somebody else has to step up, that's fine. I'd be interested to know who's our 5th string guy, like if there's even an option there. So we might have to be a little careful with the amount of quarterback run that we do. But they do need to be careful with Legas, certainly.
Okay.
The 5th string is actually a guy named Garrett Larson, who's from Kaysville.
Yeah, he's a walk-on, and he's the guy who's always got the headset on and always helping the quarterbacks during the game. Yep. Logan Bonner's old roommate on the road. So. Okay, Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you calling on Aggie Call postgame. Again, we're trying to connect with Colorado State and the press stuff after the game. I'm hoping we're going to get some kind of link of it. Having a tough time getting even in through the whole system. I don't know that it's over there, it's over here, or whatever. But we're back with more of our game day in just a moment. Aggie 17-13. We'll be right back after this.
Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, the Allergy Clinic, and the Hearing Aid Center are now located in Providence, and Cache Valley's newest and most up-to-date medical clinic located at 2245 North 400 East in North Logan, just south of Cache Valley Hospital. The entire staff and Dr. Benyon, Blotter, and Robinette look forward to helping you and your family at this state-of-the-art medical facility. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat is now located in Providence, and their new office at 2245 North 400 East in North Logan. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for details. Most insurance products, including SelectMed, are accepted.
Has inflation got you down? This is Zach with HSA Depot. Did you know you can save money by using your pre-tax income to buy qualifying medical supplies? Health savings and flex spending accounts can be used for more than just doctor visits and prescriptions. HSA Depot helps you conquer your health care by providing HSA and FSA eligible products, taking the guesswork out of the process. Come to HSA Depot next to Sally Beauty and see how much you can save. HSA Depot, 5-star review.
The state's wood stove conversion assistance program is coming to Cache Valley October 17th. Replace your old, outdated wood fireplace and get a rebate of up to $4,000. Advanced Fireplace and Stove, the 2-time Best of Northern Utah winner in the fireplace retrofit category, is an authorized vendor for this program. They suggest Heat and Glow fireplaces or Quadrifire pellet and wood stoves. Act quickly. This one will close fast. Advanced Fireplace and Stove, 752-7272. Information is online at advancedfireplaceandstove.com.
The Aggies are always number one here. It's KVNU Game Day with the voice of the Aggies, Al Lewis, Eric Frandsen, and Ryan Bohm.
Okay, on this Saturday, earlier today, Arkansas 52, BYU 35 in their game. And Ryan, where's the USC and Utah game in the third quarter at Salt Lake? What's the score now?
35-28 USC. The Utes just got a sack on second down. So, the Utes were driving in, fumbled on like the 3.
Oh.
So, it's been a back and forth game.
Yeah, and it was 21-7 right off the bat. USC had a pretty good lead. In fact, I know they scored early, and then Utah started to get back in that game. Earlier today, let's see, on high school soccer, Eric, we had Skyview win over Ridgeline.
In overtime.
1-0, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then Mountain Crest won against Logan.
5-0.
And Green Canyon beat Desert Hills.
Yes.
So those 3 girls teams go to the semifinals this next week in 4A.
So guaranteed a Region 11 team will be in the championship game.
Okay.
Which is exciting.
That is.
Some great girls soccer going on up here.
I think I just saw a few minutes ago that Air Force had scored against UNLV. Last I saw, New Mexico State was leading New Mexico 7-6. And just getting started here in the next few minutes is Fresno State and San Jose and Nevada and Hawaii are the other conference games that are being played tonight. And how about Alabama-Tennessee today?
That was a good football game.
Really good. I mean, Josh Heupel was here, of course, 1 year as our offensive coordinator, and
I don't think he was calling the game quite that good.
No,
when he was up there. Let's be honest. I don't think his heart was in it.
It was no. It didn't seem like it as much as the big time. And Tennessee with a big win over Alabama today, when it looked like Alabama might win the game at the end with some plays, and they'd come back being behind. And TCU. 2 overtimes beat Oklahoma State. That was a matchup of rated teams today. Michigan pounded Penn State in a matchup of rated teams today, so that was college football. But 17-13 Aggies, and we've got some texting that
a couple texts.
Again, remember, 339-0321.
6576. I didn't have a heart condition before this game. I definitely do now. Great win. Yes, that was great. And a couple other comments about the play calling. A lot of compliments on the play calling today for Utah State and the Aggies. Let's see. Oh, now it's frozen up on me. So, never mind. Maybe we'll go to some more of these texts.
Do you think, speaking of playbook, again, you kind of touched on it. Do you think then it changes a huge, big amount when Bishop Davenport's in there? I think towards the end of the game, obviously, they just didn't want to do anything to mess up, because you could see our defense was going to keep Colorado State out of the end zone in this game. So,
yeah, naturally, I would think that it would shrink the playbook, but it didn't seem that way right out of the gates. And then, you get in the fourth quarter, you got the lead, you're going to run the ball. You don't want to make a mistake, so that makes sense to me. But it felt like everything was there. I mean, certainly I think the playbook is as open as with Levi. Maybe not as much with Cooper, but with Levi, I think, and Bishop, I think you got the same playbook, and especially if he has a whole week of preparation, he should have most of the tools for Wyoming.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that he didn't seem bashful in throwing the ball downfield. There was, some throws that weren't great, but, guy's got a cannon for an arm.
3 for 9, 41 yards. And he rushed for 29 yards on 11 carries. It's his stats tonight. And the touchdown, which wins the game. His touchdown does.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, there's a couple of rushes there where he just bullied his way to get extra yards to make it happen, to keep the whole play going for
And he
him.
had the 19-yard run right before he ran the 7-yard or 5-yard or whatever it was touchdown. It was a, let's see, where did I write it down? It was a 4-yard touchdown run for a touchdown. So... Did he get it refreshed?
It's
still locked
reloading.
Up.
Yeah,
We're having all kinds of problems getting anything to work tonight, except for Ryan Bohm and Eric Frandsen, Al Lewis. We're going along here. Legault, while he was in there, 85 yards. He was 9 for 12. Did throw a touchdown. What a pass that was to Justin McGriff. That was a terrific throw.
Fantastic throw. It seems like it has to be a touchdown for McGriff to care enough to go catch it. So let's just only throw to him in the red zone. Otherwise, let's throw to somebody else.
He did. One time he used one arm, and you got to use two. I mean, the pass wasn't that far ahead of him, I didn't think.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but he's not. I don't think he's really interested on getting blown up across the middle or something, because he just. I don't know if the effort's quite there. The same with Cobb, or somebody else on the backside. Certainly Van Leeuwen, that would have been a great route for him when he was healthy. But, for whatever reason, McGriff, if it's a touchdown, he gets really serious. If it's not, I don't know if he's that interested.
And Cobb's only 3 catches tonight. We talked about their leading receiver not getting one. Our leading receiver only had 3. Didn't seem to be as targeted after. I don't know if that was just what ended up happening or whatever. He was still out there, but I guess the passing game just kind of lost its real effort. They went to McGriff a few times there with Davenport in the game and didn't seem to go to Cobb's as much with Davenport.
Yeah, when Cooper was still in there, it was pretty normal. I think all 3 targets were probably from Cooper. And then maybe, he and Davenport don't have the same, connection, or they haven't thrown as many balls, with each other or whatever. Maybe he's more comfortable throwing the ball left. I don't know, because Cobbs is almost always on the right side.
That's right.
I'm sure there's something in there. They'll get it figured out. I'm not worried about that.
Okay, and so again, we those are some of the things there. And then I hope Byron Vaughn's is not injured badly, and his sounded like it might have been more of also some kind of thing with a concussion or whatever, because he got sandwiched on that play. It really didn't look like he took a headshot from anybody there, but he definitely was a little bit wobbly going off the field.
Yeah, and the way that the trainers, you can tell a lot what kind of injury it is by the way that they're reacting. And you had 2 trainers around his head, holding his head still. He kept trying to get up, and they held him down a little bit. I was encouraged that he did stand up at the end, but my guess is he probably got, his bell rung, and, we might be without him for a week or 2 as well.
I hope not, but again, it could end up being the case. So, again, we are starting now I think we've got some audio here, if I can get this to work.
In the meantime, I do have more texts. I can get into those if you want. 8387 texted in, said, ugly, but a win is a win. Also, free Ike Larson.
Yeah. Well, Ike, it looked like almost started the game and was out there for a while. We saw number 19 was in there. They introduced him in the starting lineup, the TV did, and he was out there early, but then I don't know if I noticed him as much later on in the game. I saw him try to rush a punt once on the play.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody said he had a brace on in one game or something like with his knee.
Yeah, I saw him with, he's had some braces on his knees, but then he shared a video on social media just the other day of him going up and doing a 360 dunk.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't think that was probably right now.
Yeah, I don't know if that was in real time. Another text came through, 6740 texting in. Great play calling and ingenuity by our OC within the limitations of a 4th-string quarterback who probably had no practice reps. As terrible as our play calling was for 4 games, the last 2 have been terrific.
Yeah. Well, very good stuff for Coach Tucker. So congratulations on the Aggies win tonight, 17-13. I'm going to take a break because I need some help here from some of these technical people here, and we're going to try to hear. They supposedly have sent us some stuff from the coach from Colorado. They can't set up the Zoom or something's not working there. So it's Riverwoods Conference Center, Cache Valley's largest and most versatile events center. Headed towards the holiday season. Make sure you get your reservations for that. And, of course, Elements Restaurant, always with great food. It is our game day postgame. We got phone number 753 KVNU. We've got the text line 339-0321 as the Aggies win 17-13 over Colorado State tonight.
News Talk KVNU Logan, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Sports Talk Radio, KLGN Logan, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
The Young Automotive Group is proud to announce Young Truck and Trailer Center in Cache Valley. Whether it's heavy equipment trailers, horse trailers, race car trailers, or cargo and utility trailers, we're excited to offer some of the finest trailers and flatbed work trucks to Cache Valley. Our team of experts look forward to helping you find the right truck or trailer to fit your needs, with competitive prices offered on every make and model for sale on our lot. With our extensive inventory, you'll find the best deals right here in Cache Valley. Young Truck and Trailer Center, just off Highway 89 in Logan. Think young, drive young.
Join us at Prodigy Brewing to celebrate Oktoberfest. Delicious specials going on now through the end of October. Come on down and enjoy brats and German potato salad served with our house-made sauerkraut and mustard, tankards, and house-brewed beer. You keep the tankard. Find us on Instagram for updates on new events throughout the month of October. Whether you're out with the family or friends, Prodigy Brewing is the place to be in Cache Valley, located at 25 West Center Street in beautiful downtown Logan.
Hi, this is Ashley with LSS Insurance. Humana is offering Medicare Advantage plans in our area. Come learn about Humana's benefits for 2023 at our free seminar. Call 752-9493 for details or go to our website, lssins.com, for a meeting schedule. If you were happy with Humana in the past, you are going to want to see their benefits now. Call 752-9493. For accommodations of persons with special needs at meetings, please call 752-9493.
You're first and goal at the 10-yard line with seconds left on the clock. Your running back is poised for the game-winning touchdown, but before you can make the snap, the opposing team just takes the ball and locks it in a safe, and they won't give you the combination unless you pay them $10,000. That's exactly how ransomware works. And in 2021, 2 out of every 3 organizations fell victim to ransomware attacks. Protect your business with Les Olson Security Suite from Les Olson IT. Learn more at lesolson.com.
It's KVNU Aggie Game Day, brought to you by Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning on News Talk KVNU and Sports Talk Radio, The Fan.
Okay, remember how this game started. The Aggies are moving the ball. They get to the Colorado State 34-yard line on their first possession of the game. They'd scored on their first possession the last 2 games that we'd played. For the first time this year, we'd scored on the first possession of a football game. And then this Cameron Carter got an interception because Kamara for Colorado State came in and got the side of Cooper Lega's arm right as he's throwing. And Cooper did nothing wrong on that play. The guy grabbed his arm. It's just up there. And fortunately, we had somebody, Nana Davis, I think, ran fast enough to prevent a touchdown there, and it just ended up being a field goal.
Yeah, I thought he was gone. And then, fortunately, we ran him down and then held him to a field goal. So that's a great example of never giving up on a play. And, luckily our defense played super tough on that possession.
Because then they started the ball at the 29-yard line. And remember, they showed, well, we've got this new quarterback, but they went to trickery right off the bat, throwing a flanker around, handoff, pass back to a running back. They got 19. Fortunately, we tackled him at the 10-yard line there and not let him in. Then they couldn't go any closer than the 6, and they had to settle for a field goal. So 11:45 to play, 3-0. Then we came right back, and we're driving the ball, and then all of a sudden we had kind of a backwards pass to Vaughn that kind of slowed down our series on first down, lost a yard. Then we threw to Vaughn on inside screen, got 5. And then we had a Buchanan tight end catch, but on the 4th down, it looked like there for a minute or two we might go for it, but then we brought Coles in, and he missed for 45. Connor Coles was 5 for 5 on the season up until there, and he missed that kick. He actually missed that one worse than the other one he missed the first half. The other one was longer at 52, but it glanced off the side of the upright. It was pretty close to going in.
Yeah, I was really pleased that he got another chance and nailed one in the second half. That was big for us because he's been solid, really solid, and we need a good kicker. You don't want him to come out and go 0 for 2 and then have to sit on it for a week and all that stuff. So the fact that he came in, got one in the second half, that's huge for confidence. And, 48-yarder and a 52-yarder, those are not gimmies by any means. So I don't feel too bad about those. Obviously, it would have been great to knock those down. But the fact that he got that one in the 3rd, I think kind of resets things, and he'll keep kicking good for us.
We gave him one first down the next time they had the ball, and then stopped him, make them punt the ball. And we start off, and this is the scoring drive with still Cooper Legat quarterback. It started off with Briggs going for 2 yards. First off, we started at the 13-yard line. We got a false start. It's back to the 8. And then there's the roughing the passer call that took the ball out to eventually back to the 13 because there was some offsetting penalties or something on that play, the way it worked out. But we ended up getting it back to about I think we got to the 23 is I think where it was eventually. So maybe they did take all 15 yards there. But maybe that's when Legat started to have trouble because his head got slammed in the end zone on that play.
Yeah, he got hit pretty good a couple times, and I don't know. It's tough. I recognize why coaches tell quarterbacks to slide. I understand that.
Now, that was the slide was later on that same series when he runs for 9 yards and sliding down. When you're sliding, you're almost more vulnerable to get hit with your body and your head.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I think you just dive, just get down. Guys have been taught enough to not go hit a quarterback when they're diving. I think that's less dangerous than these feet first things where they give themselves up, and it's so hard for the defenders to pull off on a situation like that. So really, I think if you're going to get down, just dive forward, get low quick, and get a few more yards, but not that awkward kind of feet first thing that just always ends up looking more awkward and painful than it is effective.
Plus, the officials always spot it poorly. It's like they give you 2 or 3 less yards than what you really get where the ball is. So then that was the 9-yard run that set up the 34. He throws an incompletion. Then Briggs runs for 12. Briggs runs for 3. Vaughns makes a catch for 8. Cobbs makes a catch for 11 to take it to the 32-yard line. And then the beautiful pass over the top where only Justin McGriff could get in the end zone, a 32-yard touchdown pass to give the Aggies the 7-3 lead with 1:54 to left first quarter.
Legaud does throw a beautiful long ball. And, when you got a 6'6" receiver that, again, gets interested when it's in the end zone, I like that matchup.
Then the only time, all of a sudden, this next series, they start off, the kickoff went out of bounds, and then they said it was off of them, kind of out of bounds. They thought they were going to start at the 37. They start at 32. And then they get a 24-yard catch on the second down. Then they're down to about the 33-yard line. They run Morrow for 7, and then he runs 26 yards for a touchdown. This is when we were missing tackles badly at this point of the game, right at the start of the second quarter. And they're up 10-3, or 10-7 with that touchdown.
Yeah, there were several times in the first half where it seemed like, we had them for a 2-yard gain or something like that, and then we'd miss a first tackle. And certainly on that touchdown, I think he broke 2 tackles in the first 5 yards. So, yeah, tackling, between the lineman is not our forte, certainly.
Much more sure tackling in the second half for sure than the first. I mean, they didn't get much at all in the second half compared, because they had a 98 yards of rushing in the first half of the game. And where are my stats here as I go back to another page of ours? Colorado State ended up at the end of the game. They ended up having, I thought I was going to get team stats here. Let's see if we can get that. Colorado State only ended up with 99 rushing yards, and they had 98 at the half.
Yeah.
So we gave them 1 rushing yard in the second half. They did throw in the second half. They threw for 88 yards in the second half. So they only had 89 yards of offense against our defense in the second half. Fortunately enough, again, we got those 2 scoring drives to start the second half and got it out to 17-10, and then they did get the 1 field goal after we fumbled the ball, and that was it.
We did get some great pressure on that young quarterback, and that was huge for us, because even if you don't get to a young quarterback, the fact that you're bringing pressure, they're naturally going to throw a little high. They're going to go to that first read instead of progressing to the second or third. If you don't get to a better, more seasoned quarterback, you're in trouble, because they're gonna pick you apart. But a young guy that maybe is antsy anyway, he sees a blitz coming. And then the fact that we did hit him a bunch. I mean, there was one series where we hit him, I think, 3 plays in a row. He was hobbling.
I didn't know if he was going to make it out of the first half there at the end either. I thought we might see another quarterback for them in the second half.
Yeah, you don't forget stuff like that as a quarterback, and that starts to wear on you as the game goes on. And he had a rough night. I don't know what his final stats were, but
he threw 11 of 32 for 144 yards, no touchdowns, 1 intercepted. He ended up rushing. He ends up with a -14 rushing with the sacks and everything, and 5 times. I don't have the number of sacks here yet in the stats, but when we get those, we'll try to pass that along officially, how many sacks they gave. I know Grzesiak had to have maybe 2 in the game.
Yeah,
it seems
I think
like
he might have had 2. And then, we had another one where they called a face mask that wasn't. I mean, that was a sack on 3rd down or something. So, yeah, we got great pressure, which is kind of unusual for us. So that was fun to see.
We did have quite a few penalties tonight. It seemed like a lot of times we had quite a few false starts. Is that a different quarterback deal? We also had, first time this year, Chandler Dolphin had some snap problems. The one time, I think what happened is the quarterback, I think it was Levi at that time, might have been almost like wanting to run or get it before the snap. It was not a bad, but one was definitely dribbled back, and we had a couple that were little wild snaps in this game too.
Yeah, that first false start, I think, on one of maybe the second play with Davenport in there, that makes sense. Their cadence is going to be a little different. So that's pretty normal. The exchange with the center, I just think those were kind of some shanks because I didn't think it had anything to do with the snap count, but he did throw it into Levi's foot at least one time. So, certainly bringing in a new quarterback is going to change that flow a little bit, but, again, they'll get that figured out, and they did even, during the game.
All right, we need to take another break, and then we'll be back with more of our post-game Aggie Call. Again, we'd love to have you join with us with your texts. It's 339-0321, or again, the phone number is 753-5868 for Aggie Call post-game. Aggies win 17-13, and we'll return with more. Again, Game Day brought to you in part by Alpine Home Medical. Remember, what sets them apart is their superior level of quality service they provide to their customers. 774-4500 for CPAP supplies, lift chairs, compression stockings, oxygen supplies, and a whole lot more. Alpine Home Medical brings you our post-game coverage of Game Day as the Aggies win. Third win, 3-4 on the year, and 2-1 in conference play.
What's more important than sleep? Granted, some things are, but not many. This is Ryan at My Mattress, and here we offer the best solution to better sleep, a better mattress. IntelliBed, the gel mattress, cradles your hips and shoulders while providing the best back support possible. Or come in and choose a Tempur-Pedic that boasts 93% of their owners love their bed. My Mattress, offering the best sleep possible by the South Walmart.
Advanced Heating and AC, the two-time gold medal winner in Best in Northern Utah. They're teaming up with Carrier Heating and Cooling. Carrier provides you the best furnace units available, and now's the best time to buy a new unit before the weather turns Cache Valley cold. Financing options are available. Turn to the experts at Advanced Heating and Carrier. Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, 752-7272, or stop by their showroom west of DI and online at advancedheating-ac.com.
We're not comfortable until you are. Advanced Heating and Air.
You're first and goal at the 10-yard line with seconds left on the clock. Your running back is poised for the game-winning touchdown, but before you can make the snap, the opposing team just takes the ball and locks it in a safe, and they won't give you the combination unless you pay them $10,000. That's exactly how ransomware works. And in 2021, 2 out of every 3 organizations fell victim to ransomware attacks. Protect your business with Les Olson Security Suite from Les Olson IT. Learn more at lesolson.com.
The home for Aggie Sports. News Talk KVNU. 102 FM at 610 AM.
And also on the Sports Talk, The Fan, we do pregame and postgame. We'll be back on next week. Now, that game is going to be at 7:45, they say, against Wyoming. It'll be on FS1. So you know with a game at 5 o'clock on FS1 that it won't start probably at 7:45. It might start close to 8 o'clock, or they might start it on FS2. But we'll plan on game day next week. Probably 6:05 we'll get started, and we'll do it up until about 7:45 on game day pregame, and then we'll be on immediately after the game tonight. Al Lewis, Ryan Bohm, Eric Frandsen. I want to make sure people are taken care of. Do we have any other texts or things that we need to talk about?
Yeah, a couple of texts coming through. 4446. What's the root of being so undisciplined? So many penalties.
Well, we've talked about that before. I know it's the guy does not need to dive into the end zone after he makes a long interception return. But that got negated because somebody else had made a holding call, which was unnecessary because he never needed a block, like we're saying on the whole deal. But I'm sure they're trained as soon as you played maybe special teams a little bit. As soon as that happens, or if you played on defense, you're supposed to go try to find somebody to help out, I guess.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Unfortunately, guys are trying to make a play, especially, D linemen are trying to go find the quarterback and blow him up and stuff. I mean, that's just, it's silly, but, the fact that Hall dove into the end zone, you can't do stuff like that. It's just, you made a good play.
It sure looked cool, though.
Yeah.
Oh, it does look cool, and he'll have the film of it forever and all that kind of stuff. But really, what is it they always say? Act like you've done it before.
Act like you've been there before, and because, it ended up being significant.
Mm-hmm.
That, especially because it's a after the play they tacked it on. We had 30 yards of penalties on that play.
Yeah.
And it's totally unnecessary. Score the touchdown, give the ball to the ref, go celebrate with your buddies. You want to go dive on the sideline after, over with your team? Go ahead. You want to do a backflip? You want to hold up a WWE belt? Like, whatever. Awesome, right? But, like, between the lines in the game, I mean, come on. Act like you've been there before and don't hurt your team. Because if the touchdown counted, then we're kicking off from the 20 or something, and they're going to have great field position. Like, you're shooting yourself in the foot. It does no good.
And we did have a few more holding calls tonight than we've had the last little bit. We've kind of stayed away from that. The false starts were the big deal tonight that we saw. But, in fairness, on the other side, Colorado State also had quite a few false starts and things that really hurt them tonight in the game, too.
10 penalties for both teams, 93 yards for Utah State, 90 for Colorado State.
It wasn't good that way.
Not
And the Aggies are one of the worst in the country at penalties on the year, and they showed that graphic, and we continue to get there tonight. So it's going to hurt you eventually. We got the win tonight, 17-13, but okay. Anything else there?
9315, and try to understand what he's saying here. Did Bishop just make all the bishops in Cache Valley smile to meet the most new called for the Anderson Football Award? Okay, I think I know what you're trying to say there.
Well, there'll be some religious comments after this game when Bishop Davenport helps us win the game.
4158. Wow, amazing game. When Levi got injured and we were down at half, definitely thought it was over. So happy it wasn't, and we pulled it out. I see talent in Bishop, but think that he could be a great quarterback in the future.
And you got to remember, Legault and Williams both have 2 more years after this year too. So there's an interesting quarterback situation coming up in the future.
That's true. 9310, another 10 penalties. We were just talking about this. Who is responsible to clean those up? They mentioned it in the TV broadcast that we're the worst in the nation in penalties.
Yeah, and the coach it's made it a priority, and he says that they take care of it their way, is what they've talked about before. I don't know if Coach Anderson talked about that tonight. Should we get to Coach Anderson?
One last question here, and it's a good one. I didn't notice this, but question from 4086.
This has got to be something for Ryan if it's a real good question.
Why was Nimrod punting? I didn't notice Nimrod punting.
I never saw Nimrod punt the ball.
I don't
constantly,
think I saw.
again, first punt ever blocked in his career in this game, and he had one other when he kind of shanked off the side. It wasn't a great night when we, on special teams wise, we ended up missing field goals and having bad punts and having a punt block. But we survived it. And usually, if you get a punt block, the stats say you normally lose the game.
Constantly is the only one credited for punts.
He's the only one who punted.
Yeah,
he's the only one who punted tonight.
Maybe there was a misread on a number there.
Okay, appreciate the text though, and they're 339-0321. If you hear what the coach and players are saying, if you want to comment on that, make sure you do. And we appreciate HSA Depot by Sally Beauty in Logan, where you can conquer your health care. That's right, you can use your HSA or FSA, I said it right, with medical supplies for your family right there. The HSA Depot is one of our new game day sponsors, and let's go to Coach Anderson after this win from Fort Collins, Colorado, again via. I think it got here by Pony Express. Usually we're all into this brand new technology
and carrier pigeon,
and nothing worked tonight. At our end, at their end, nothing worked. So again, somebody recorded it on some reel-to-reel tape recorder device. So here we go.
What can you say? Wow. Definitely not the way we scripted it, but super proud of the guys to overcome all that happened. Obviously, injuries were a big factor, and thought that Levi came in and did a good job and then went down, and Bishop obviously did a phenomenal job to help us get in the end zone and finish up well. Defensively, to hold those guys to 13 points and hit the quarterback like they did, a great job. If that thing gets out of hand from our defense, then we're not in a position tonight, at least, to really make a run at it. Bishop has had no reps with our offense other than just drill work, and to go out and to be able to do what he did says a lot about just his poise and what really he's capable of moving forward. So a lot of injuries tonight, things we're going to have to look at. Hopefully we can get some guys healthy. We've got a really tough road trip next week, but for tonight, that's when you celebrate. You'll remember those games don't happen. To give up a blocked punt and to go through 3 quarterbacks and lose as many guys as we did during the game, those are games you typically lose, and somehow we found a way to win. So we're going to be thankful for that and celebrate all the way home and get back to work, getting some guys healthy. So what do you got? You got some folks?
No, but I'm going to record it here too.
Okay.
Just so we have the video.
Sounds good.
a little bit of a different way to win a football game here than you're used to. What's the value in seeing your team go out and do it with, defense and sort of grinding them out?
Yeah, I think conference play, number one, to me, is you just kind of throw records out the window in conference play. Going on the road, anybody, any week. And they've got a bunch of talent out there. This can happen any week, even without the injuries. You can get in one of those games where just defenses are playing well and things aren't going your way. But to add the adversity that we did face tonight, and guys didn't panic and really lifted each other up and came over there and got in Bishop's ear, and man, we got you. I just think that says a lot about your football team, and super proud of our ability to do that, because we've not shown a tremendous amount of maturity this year. We've looked like a very inexperienced team, and tonight you did things that experienced football teams do in tough situations, and so maybe we grew up a lot. I'm hoping we did, and somehow found a way to get an ugly win. There's no such thing as an ugly win right now with this group.
What can you tell us about Cooper and Levi?
Coop had a concussion, so concussion protocol was set in. He took a couple shots, one of which I thought should have been obviously a penalty. Very frustrated that he wasn't protected when he slid. He did not remember the rest of that drive, I don't think. I think it just kind of was gone. So we checked him out, and immediately we knew he needed to be pulled. Levi went down with an ankle. We'll just have to reevaluate that every day. But he wasn't in a position tonight to really be mobile and protect himself against a very good defensive front. And for us, we just felt like Bishop gave us the best chance to be successful, and I thought he did a phenomenal job.
Byron left the game as well. Do you have any update on him?
Yeah, questionable. I just couldn't go back tonight, and probably maybe a little bit safe. It was a head injury type deal too, and we're just not going to play with that. We're not going to put a guy in harm's way. So he seemed fine in the locker room, but at the moment that they did evaluate him, it was too questionable to put him back in that kind of situation. We're not going to do that.
On Bishop, what did you see from him just in standing in there, and obviously not a huge explosive outburst offensively, but he handled it seemingly pretty well.
No, he did. Just poised. And I got a chance to see him play in person in the playoffs in the state of Texas against one of the best teams in the country, and definitely in the state. And the thing that I came away from that game is the same thing I came away now. The moment's not bigger than him. He was very calm. It was not perfect. He'll probably tell you, probably had some butterflies rolling, but the moment wasn't bigger than him. He connected dots when he needed to. He pulled the ball down and ran. There's going to be some plays that he's going to look at and we're going to look at that we need to fix. But for a guy that had not had any reps with us offensively other than just drill work on a daily basis, he was very calm and collected and allowed us to have a chance to win a game. That's all you can ask a number 4, which is what he is. It's what he is. Number 4 to go in. That says a lot about our quarterback room moving forward.
What did you see from Grzesiak tonight? Got to the quarterback 3 times.
Yeah, it was needed. We have not really played this style of offense this year. And so the ability for our pass rush to show up was something that was really important. This was a game that I think he had a chip. This one was circled. That's a staff that he played for at Nevada, and I think he wanted to make sure and impress upon those guys that he could do his job and do it well, and he did it when we needed it most. We hit the quarterback a lot tonight, and this was one that his energy showed up. But that's what he loves to do, and he did it when we needed it to most tonight.
It's a pretty chippy atmosphere, all things considered. I don't know if it was as much on the field as it was kind of in the stands. How do you think the guys handled that?
I felt like that we've been in games where it was a little bit more emotional. I thought our guys stayed fairly calm. There was only a couple instances where I thought we got mixed up in it. Clearly, we can't have a 15-yarder after we scored a touchdown. There was a holding call that would have brought it back, but just our response right there in what could have been a game-ending, seal-the-game type play. That was really the only one that really showed up to me tonight. I thought the guys handled themselves fairly well. It was energetic, and obviously the crowd was into the game, and it's a pretty cool environment, but it didn't seem as chippy down on the field as maybe some have been in the last couple of weeks.
So no flipping into the end zone allowed?
Yeah, and that's not. That one's one we'll make sure he knows that's not okay. He'll remember that one, I promise.
before the penalties, what was the feeling of seeing him pick off the quarterback?
Well, we'd had a couple opportunities earlier in the game. It just couldn't come down with it. And you felt like with where we were offensively and where we were just, playing Bish out there and trying to make sure that we didn't put him in harm's way, if you could get that kind of play, you could put the game away. And so that to me, having had our hands on the ball 2 or 3 times earlier in the night and not come down with it came at a big time. I wish we'd have handled it cleaner and got in the end zone and really put ourselves in a good position, but the holding call would have been a problem, and clearly we can't do selfish stuff and flip into the end zone. Like I said, that will be one that we'll make a point with.
How important is it to have the steadiness of Cal Tyler Jr. 3 games over 100 yards?
Yeah, just getting better every week. Calming environment, just his demeanor is calm. I would think that having a freshman quarterback standing right, he just is getting better. He's the senior, the veteran guy. I just think he's running the ball better and better each week. Got to give the offensive line credit too, because they're moving bodies for him. But he has a calming presence, and he's not a real vocal guy, but he doesn't seem to get rattled. And right now, in a game like tonight, that's pretty important.
Yeah, 3 games in a row with 100 yards rushing. I asked him again this week, was he in the best groove he's been in? And he had 2 games in a row, 100 yards, I think, before last year. But last year, during that period of time, he's averaging about 3.8 a carry. He's averaging about 6 yards a carry. And tonight, again, it was how many carries? He ended up with 24 for 129, so it's 5.4. That's you get 5 yards a carry. You're really carrying the ball well.
Absolutely, yeah. Our running game, since BYU has been, much improved, and I think it's because we're being a little more deliberate with it. It's not as much of just zone run. We've kind of incorporated some pulling linemen. We brought in tight ends, kind of almost like a fullback type position from the tight end. So I love the fact that we're being a little more deliberate in our running. And then, he's just making plays. So you tip my hat for him running hard the last few games.
Yeah, because, again, he kept the 5-yard average, and that is 3 games. It's 4 this year. He had 4 games last year with 100 yards rushing. But the big thing there is that there's absolutely no reps running the offense by Bishop Davenport unless they did a little bit of something in spring football, but it looked like they just kind of threw them in at the end of the spring game and things like that to let them play. I don't know how much of the real offense is there. So there's nothing involved in that to have to go in and do that tonight.
Yeah, when he was so we saw him a little bit in a closed scrimmage in the fall.
He came in just towards the end there.
Near the very end. And it looked like, okay, here's an athlete. He's got a good arm. He'll get there someday. But, that's probably about it. I mean, outside of doing drills. I mean, this guy comes in and, like Coach Anderson said, look, you have to give a lot of credit to the other quarterbacks and the quarterback coach for at least keeping this guy engaged and understanding the playbook and what's going on, even though he was 4th on the depth chart. And today he came in and he did enough to get the
even
victory.
In games, Ryan, he's got to see signals every once in a while from the side that he's never seen maybe before either in practice too.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible because if you think, the number 1 guy gets 80% of the snaps. The number 2 guy gets the other 15%, and the number 3 guy maybe gets 5. The number 4 guy just holds a clipboard. And so to have him come in and run the offense says a lot about how he's prepared, how he's studied. I mean, mentally, it would be really hard to be locked in knowing that, how many times in a season does the number 4 quarterback on any team anywhere in college football ever see the field?
The last game we had 4 people throw a pass in was Jason Walker looked that up during the game at Alabama in 2004. And the last time we even had 4, and we had Vaughn threw a pass tonight that was dropped by Levi Williams. So we had 4 guys throw the ball tonight too.
Yeah, and that's having like receivers and running backs throwing the ball. I'm talking the 4th string quarterback probably sees the field once every 10 years for any program.
Got to be catastrophic.
That's true.
So the fact that he was dialed in enough to be able to put on his hat and go out there and win a football game says a lot about this kid.
Because now, again, you would for sure, that I know they have traveled, again, all the road trips so far this year, they have traveled Bonner and they've traveled Larson, who's always got the headphones on and the clipboard. We were talking about that with Jeff. He's the next quarterback to go in. And then they've traveled Levi and Legaw. I'll bet you that Bishop Davenport maybe, and now they might have traveled a bunch of guys to Alabama because it's not been conference games. If you go on the road, there's a limited number of teams sometimes you can even take. You might not even take another quarterback. And if you got Larson handling all the signals and things, you might just take 3 guys in that. You wouldn't even take the 4th guy, too,
Yeah, it's something else.
That's wild.
I would be shocked if, in the last decade that a 4th-string quarterback has seen this much time in a game anywhere in college football.
And Gervin Hall, it sounds like, will be either doing lots of leg lifts or lots of up and downs or lots of something or others this week in practice, I would imagine. All right, let's take a break, and then we've got the players. We do have Bishop Davenport, and we also have Daniel Grzesiak. And we'll come back with more post-game. Again, it's our Game Day Aggie Call. Remember, our text line is 339-0321. And our phone number is 753-5868 if you want to join with us. We appreciate Golden Spike Electric. Don't let Mother Nature spoil your day, your night, or your winter. Make sure you have a backup generator. They've got the Generac generators. Golden Spike Electric, 257-3016, their number. And also Aegis Home Health and Hospice. They provide nursing services and health care to Box Elder, Cache, and Rich counties and have done that over 20 years. It's 723-9000 or myaegis.com. AEGIS. Aggie 1714. We'll be right back with more Game Day right here on KVNU and on Sports Talk Radio, The Fan.
This is Chris from the Cater Shop Menswear Store. We believe how you look is the first message you deliver. This also includes our floors at the store. Daryl at Chem Drive, Northern Utah, and his team came in after hours, cleaned the entire store, and had it ready to go before we opened the next day. I trust Daryl and his team from Chem Drive, Northern Utah.
Chem Drive of Northern Utah. Chem Drive of Northern Utah. 435-752-6100.
Don't get caught without power after a windstorm or a major winter freeze. Golden Spike Electric offers Generac backup generators so you can be prepared and keep your home warm while avoiding frozen pipes. Golden Spike Electric is one of the largest Generac dealers around, so you know it'll be installed right. Whether you're a homeowner or an electrician, contact Golden Spike Electric to rest easy the next time the power goes out. Online at gsegenerators.com or call 435-257-3016. They also service other models.
This is Jarek with Jarek's Fine Jewelry. This October is our 14th year anniversary. So to celebrate, we want to treat you to an anniversary date. Make it a date night on us. Come engagement ring or anniversary ring shopping at Jarek's Fine Jewelry. We have thousands of designs to choose from, including the newest custom designs. With no strings attached and no purchase necessary, we will buy your dinner at Bloom Eatery. The entire month of October, come in ring shopping and Bloom is on us. Make date night special. Make it Jarek's.
It's KVNU Aggie Game Day, brought to you by Aegis Home Health and Hospice on News Talk KVNU and Sports Talk Radio, The Fan.
Al Lewis and Ryan Bohm and Eric Frandsen here post-game. Aggies again have won 2 in a row now after the start. Again, 3-4. Of course, a key deal there is you start to count getting to bowl eligibility with wins. And we're just starting the second half of the season with this game. The last of the 6. You'll only play 2 of them at home in the last 6. And again, they'll be at Wyoming the next game, then a bye before they come home for New Mexico. Then they go to Hawaii, then play San Jose at home, and then play Boise State. Finish the year. That's the way the season will go. Anything else in the text line?
Yeah, a couple more texts have come through. 4086 said, I think Ryan and I made up. Okay.
we did. I had a good call with that gentleman during the week, and we kissed and made up.
Okay.
He called me out before, but he was just joking. So
that's all good. 9315 is Williams better at passing accurately, or is Bishop a better accurate passer?
The one thing about Levi's got a heck of an arm. And he's big, and he can run the ball well, but he is a little bit. You saw they went after some bombs with him. Remember, all of a sudden they went to him, tried to throw those long passes, to try to get something down the field there, and they did it with Bishop Davenport there too in the one series.
Yeah, I don't think Levi. I think he's a run-first guy.
Yeah.
Because, even that throw to McGriff on the side, if McGriff's not 6'6", he doesn't make that catch. And so I think even the easy stuff for him is, not necessarily easy. So Davenport, might give him a run for his money in terms of accuracy even right now.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. No more text. We got through all of our texts.
And I loved, again, this interview with Bishop Davenport after the game. Again, appreciate Cache Valley Bank always sponsoring. We'll have some final stats from them here before we're done tonight. The unique needs, and they craft solutions to fit your business situations. They want to work with small businesses here in the Valley. Cache Valley Bank brings you our postgame. And here's Doug Hoffman, the media director, introducing this to the media. Listen up.
And quarterback Bishop Davenport. Bishop and I haven't even met yet. That's how new he is to all of this. So go ahead and ask Bishop questions.
Bishop, did you have any idea you were going to play tonight coming in?
Not at all. Not at all. I kind of go into every game trying to prepare myself that I am going to get in, but not at all. I haven't.
What was the feeling then coming in where you're going in for the first time, knowing that you have to pass for the first time in the third quarter? What was that feeling?
That it's an exciting feeling. It's like you're excited, but you have to focus on what you got to do, get the dub, and then you can celebrate and all stuff like that. So I had to stay focused, honestly, and stay calm and just not get overwhelmed by the situation.
How prepared did you feel for this?
Mentally, probably like 90%. Physically, I wasn't. That's what it is.
This was a hostile environment. How did you block that out and focus on your job?
Honestly, I liked it. It felt good. It's like they felt like it was cheering for me, cheering for us. So, and then when they got quiet, it felt even better because you were doing something right. So yeah, I like that. Good environment.
What'd you see from Calvin tonight?
Calvin, he did his thing. He helped me, motivate me, get me in my comfort zone. He was telling me on the field, like, just stay focused, and just do you, play ball. So.
What's going through your mind when you scored that first touchdown? It seemed like you were eyeing people, maybe.
Yeah, I was just excited. I just thanking God just for the situation, for the blessing, and just trying to get my team to dub.
You ran through somebody on a couple of
Yeah.
plays before that. Is that something that is encouraged with the quarterbacks, or is that just something that they can't stop you?
Nah, it's not, but I'll do it. Yeah, they encourage me to slide and start diving, but I'll put my shoulder down for sure.
Why is that? Where's that come from?
Just being, when I was younger, I used to run a lot, I barely threw, and then once I got to high school, the throwing aspect came into it, so it just kind of came together.
Sure you didn't know it at the time, but how does it feel scoring the winning touchdown?
It feels good. It feels great, actually. It feels great, especially when you got a team like this behind you. Yeah, it feels great.
What did the guys do to kind of support you on the sidelines or just in general?
Just keep me motivated, make jokes, stuff like that. Just tell me you do me, and just stay comfortable.
Stay comfortable. He doesn't like sliding. Ryan, did you hear him say that?
I love it. I love it. It's the more I thought about it, if the fact that he really had, zero expectation to get into a game like this is probably better.
Might have helped, yeah.
It just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he gets thrown into the game, doesn't have a week to sit and stew about it and think about it and pressure and all this stuff. And so he just gets baptism by fire. I think that's better at the quarterback position than to sit there and think about it and hear things and interviews and all this stuff that would happen otherwise. So
you're just relying on muscle memory.
Yeah, remember Cooper Laga in the bowl game? I'm sure he thought, Bonner, whatever, and all of a sudden he's got to go in. First pass, he just chucks it down the field. And maybe the same thing. And Laga told me when I interviewed him before this season, I said, remember, you were supposed to start that Wyoming game, and everything was preparing that you were going to be the quarterback that year before in the COVID year, and then we didn't go. Mm-hmm. And he said, in my mind, I still feel that was better for me to have done what I've done now and come into the bowl than to have to. He was getting prepped for that whole week and getting all stewed up, and then didn't play that game against Wyoming too.
Yeah, so I think especially for somebody as young as Bishop with no reps, everything else, the fact that he just got chucked out there to the Wolves and it was just muscle memory, like you said, and just going back to what he's done up to this point probably was better.
Well, and credit to Calvin Tyler Jr., the other teammates trying to keep him loose, making jokes, telling him to just be himself, not try to go out and do something abnormal beyond what he can do. And Credit to that offensive staff, too, understanding what plays they felt comfortable throwing his way that he could have a chance to execute. So great job by Utah State making sense of all that and getting the win.
In a real tough situation, again, for everybody to come out and talk about that for sure. But there was a guy who you could tell was really jacked up on this game, and I also loved our media relations director up at Utah State, Doug Hoffman, as he introduced him to the press afterwards. You got to listen to what he said about Daniel Grzesiak, and he does run down all of his stats for tonight.
We got graduate junior defensive end Daniel Grzesiak, had career high 3 sacks, career high 3.5 tackles for loss, forced fumble, pass breakup. What else did you do? Is that enough? Special teams. Go ahead and ask Daniel questions.
Daniel, any extra motivation tonight?
Them are old coaches. I love those guys. And they run the air raid. I'm a pass rusher, so it was just perfect. I finally got to get a lot of pass rushes in. My back end was holding up a long time, so it was great,
How was it dealing with this kind of intense environment? It got a little chippy.
Oh, it did get chippy. But, we all rally as a team. Every time stuff gets chippy, we all come together. Like, that's the number one thing. Coach Bonner do a great job. If he sees somebody going out the way, Coach Bonner say rally. Like, we rally together, take a deep breath. So, really shout out to Coach Bonner and the leaders.
How does playing against this kind of offense change things for a defensive lineman? Obviously, you have a lot of experience with that.
Oh, man, we could go. We could go. Last week, Air Force, Reggie Keys, like, I wasn't really be able to set free. BYU, they do a lot of stretches, so it's better. Like, I don't know. It's this type of game you want to play, type of offense you want to play against.
There were moments that the running back got away and there were some missed tackles and things like that, but you also got a lot of tackles for loss, probably the most this season. What did you see there? I don't have the session.
Oh, okay. We were missing a lot of tackles. It's bad, but I mean, Avery's a good back. That's my guy. Like, who's on the team? He's a good back, big guy. He feel me. So, but we came, like I said, we rallied together. We said, hey, no more of that. Like AJ, MJ, them was our best. Them was some of the best linebackers I've played with. So, they rallied up. They ain't missed a tackle the rest of the game, I think.
How do you think the team responded to this atmosphere going on the road and going out and getting your first start?
Oh, we love it.
Yeah.
We love it. We love everything. Block punt, ball in the 20. Oh yeah, come on, bring it up. Y'all can put the ball in the 5-yard line. We love it. We love it. I'd rather do that than I wouldn't. But that's more fun to me than starting on the 25-yard line. We love it. Me more.
Does that get you fired up when you go out there? I think you had 2 of those defensively where you
oh yeah.
Real ball in that situation.
Oh yeah. I wish I could hear that.
Get back out there.
What did you see from Gervin Hall in the secondary? He got that interception that really helped close it at the end.
Oh man, our secondary was eating today. They was doing their thing. They was strapping up. I feel like I had a 5-second pass rush. They was doing their thing today. I love it. We getting better. We really getting better. I feel like this is a completely different team. Y'all look at week 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a completely different team. Completely different team. But hey, we gotta get back to work, improve, do it all again next week.
How do you as a defense support Bishop coming in, as the 4th string guy?
Well, we see Bishop every day doing his little quarterback drills, little cute drills, But, hey, it's working. He came in there cool, calm, collective. I couldn't tell you a freshman. He came in there, ran, threw good balls, then throw it to the defense. So, man, Bishop going to be good. Bishop going to be real good.
That is Daniel Grzesiak after the game. I was just thinking, even as he mentioned that, you'd almost think the quarterback has been 4th or 5th to be running the other team stuff. I don't know how many more guys we've got at that spot. We had another freshman. I know we have another freshman quarterback on the team. I don't know who runs scout squad. Do you think that Grzesiak and some of those guys might see them in practice every once in a while at that spot? No?
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah,
So.
I'm trying to think. Scout team, usually scout team were some walk-on guys.
Mm-hmm.
You usually didn't want to get because those guys are getting crushed.
Yeah, they
so
do.
You probably don't want to put a scholarship guy out there.
It's interesting. But you do have the situation nowadays where they don't hit quite as much as they used to. And again, University of Utah is going to go for 2 after they just scored. 48 seconds to go in the game.
Ooh, going for the win.
Going for the win here after they just scored on a 4th down against USC here. So let's see what Cam Rising and the Ute. They snap it back, and he's looking, and he sides. Oh, he can run for it. He got it. And Utah leads by 1 with 48 seconds. Oh, he stretched it in. Almost got sacked. The other quarterback, of course, is Chase Tua Tagovailoa, who is another kid out of Orem High School that the Aggies have that's listed as a quarterback on the roster besides Larson. So really they have the 6 quarterbacks that are listed on their roster right now. So what did you think? Daniel Grzesiak, you can tell he's revved up, and he was revved up in the right way to do it the right way tonight against this Colorado State team. You can get revved up and it can backfire a little bit too.
And we've seen that too many times for Utah State, and it's still not totally cleaned up for the Aggies. But Grzesiak, he's fun to talk to when he gets fired up. He's an emotional guy. He's a very animated guy. And when I spoke to him back at the end of July, when training camp got underway for Utah State, he let me know this was one of 2 games circled on his schedule.
The other one's Hawaii.
The other one was Hawaii because Timmy Chang was on that Nevada staff for a long time. And he was anxious and eager to play this game.
Because he was a tight end coach. And remember, Grzesiak, I think the first time he went to Nevada, they were kind of walk-on as a tight end, I think is where it started before he moved to defense.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, he started out as a tight end and converted to a defensive end.
So Timmy Chang would have been who he dealt with and everything like that. And again, like he said, he got a chance. Now, I don't know if they can feel the same against Wyoming. They might be able to feel defensively when they play San Jose, who's a little more of a throwing team and all. But, now USC's going to run back the kickoff or at least get out. They're going to have...
looked like there was a penalty.
Yeah, there is a penalty on the play. As USC got it back to about midfield on the kickoff, but a penalty will probably pull it back a little bit more. So Utah by 1 in that game. The Indians scored 3, or the Guardians, scored 3 in the ninth to beat the Yankees in the game.
Wow.
They're up 2-1, and the Mariners scored in the 18th inning in the baseball playoffs and won 1-0 against the Astros scored 1 in the 18th and beat the Mariners, so they're done in that series 3-0. And the Phillies moved on in their series, and let's see if I can get you the Dodgers and Padres score right now. It's 2-0 Dodgers in the 5th inning, and of course that series is 2-1 San Diego.
Yeah.
So that one might go to the limit.
These have been some pretty intriguing playoffs.
So Cleveland can wrap it up against the Yankees at home tomorrow. If the Dodgers win, the Padres and Dodgers will play a 5th and deciding game. And the other 2 series are done. Houston's moved on and Philadelphia's moved on in baseball playoffs. Interesting day. College football, baseball, all that going on. We'll take another break here, brought to you by the Les Olson Company. Half of all organizations have been victims of ransomware. Again, get with Les Olson on their security suite they have available. Your office technology partner. Les Olson Company brings you the Aggies 17-13, and we'll be back with one last segment of Game Day. Aggies win over at Colorado State.
Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical. I'd like to invite you to learn more about us. Since 1997, we've been Utah's premier one-stop shop for home medical equipment. What sets us apart at Alpine Home Medical is the superior level of customer service. We provide home oxygen, CPAPs, wheelchairs, scooters, breast pumps, and so much more. Come on down and get to know us.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Visit alpinehomemedical.com.
Clean it up and get it out before the snow flies. Don't wait another winter. Let DD Auto and Salvage pay you for that junk vehicle. DD Auto and Salvage makes it so easy and fast to get rid of your junker vehicles by paying you the most money possible. Pickup is available. If you have metal, DD Auto and Salvage in Logan wants to pay you today. Call 787-1204.
That's 787-1204 today.
See store for details.
Daryl's Appliance provides the best repair service. Daryl's techs are trained to pre-diagnose your repair problem before they arrive at your home, so it can be completed on their first trip. As a plus, Daryl's parts department is stocked from A to Z for you do-it-yourselfers. And Daryl's has used parts to save you money. Dishwasher baskets, bake elements, microwave trays, and more. For sales and service since 1970, it's Daryl's Appliance, west on Airport Road.
Are you a small business owner? Who's your bank? This is Bruce Rigby. I want to invite you to bank with us at Cache Valley Bank. We specialize in helping small business, and we have great people. That's the Cache Valley Bank difference. Decisions made locally, without all the red tape, by people who care and know how to help small business. Cache Valley Bank, growing, expanding, and proud to have our roots firmly planted in Cache Valley. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
All right, we always appreciate you joining with us before and after every game. Again, next Saturday night we'll get started pregame. We're figuring around 6:05 to take you up to about 7:45 for Utah State and Wyoming. That'll be on FS1, which will probably start on FS2 next Saturday night, I'm guessing, there. And then the Aggies will have a bye, but again, they've got 2 in a row going to Wyoming. What was it? I think Craig looked it up, and it's the first time we've gone back-to-back to Colorado State and Wyoming in like 100 years or something like that.
It's abnormal, yeah.
To have to play those 2 back-to-back. This, eventually down the road here, if they play another 15, 20 years in this conference, Colorado State, Utah State, with BYU and Utah not playing us anymore, that will become our longest-running series. It's going to take a while to get to the Utah one numbers, but really that's going to be our longest rival will be Colorado State, and then Wyoming will be our next longest rival. And there's be some years with this new scheduling, we might not even play them.
That's true. So. They're not part of the new system with getting rid of divisions.
Utah intercepted the ball, so they're done?
No, it'll be a pass interference.
There was a PI.
Oh, okay.
Would be my guess.
So Southern Cal will get another 15 yards, and they have 8 seconds, so they got one more, maybe Hail Mary or some other pass.
They'll probably put, because I think they ran it for the sort of interception, they'll probably be 15 seconds.
Yeah, they'll put more time on the clock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, got a few texts coming through.
Let's check them out for Cat. Let me just mention Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat Allergy Clinic Hearing Aid Center. They're accepting new patients. They're in North Logan and Providence. Most insurance products, including Select Med, are accepted. For more information, again, for headaches and migraines, they can help you as well at Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat. Now.
All right, 6021. At least we aren't like BYU and using our quarterbacks going down as an excuse. On Twitter after Notre Dame, they were complaining.
And they were blaming the
fault.
Aggies, yeah.
And there's actually it wasn't just after that game. It's been going on all week. And it's still going on.
They hurt Chucky Keaton a long time ago.
Hey, we got to give them some credit. Those helmets were pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the rest of the day was perfect for BYU football. But they did have some pretty cool helmets.
Okay.
Right. They won't take responsibility for the bad pass protection, but yeah. 9315. So who gets the most media coverage in Utah, the winning team or the 2 losing teams if Utah loses?
Well,
this was sent in before Utah.
Yeah, and Utah's now got a 1-point
conversion.
lead with one last play left here in the game. Just keep it on the field is all Utah needs to do here.
Yeah, so great win tonight for the Aggies, though they do deserve some attention with the way that they found a way to pull that victory out. I mean, a lot of odds stacked against them, a lot of adversity, and they still found ways to come out on top.
There'll be very little coverage in the state, though, of our game compared to these other 2 today with Arkansas.
In town, USC in town. Weber State's undefeated.
Yeah, they're going to have to get the coaches all off the field to be able to play the last play of this game for Utah and Southern Cal. Neither coach wants to leave the field right now, So,
but Utah State now has to turn around to take on a Wyoming team that's historically been kind of physical, tough, aggressive.
Remember, even on Jordan Love's great years of offense, we had a tough time moving, and then they blew us out last year. Now that was Levi Williams at quarterback in that game. There for a minute today, I mentioned, as soon as he came in, it might have been Levi Williams against Andrew Peasley in the game next week.
It still might be.
Yeah, you never know.
It's true, because his ankle will be checked day to day. Mm-hmm. But, as Coach Anderson said in his postgame presser, this didn't feel like he would be in a position to protect himself out there on the field.
You could tell when he tried to plant with his right foot to pass the ball. He wanted that foot immediately off the ground.
So if it is Davenport, how much does that change maybe with the game plan for Utah State next week?
It looks like he could be a running quarterback to do some of the things. We're going to have to, Wyoming's going to be tougher to run the ball against, I think, than Colorado State, for sure. They've always been perennially, like I said, they held Air Force under 200 yards rushing in the game against Air Force and beat them 17-14.
Yeah, I mean, you're certainly not going to try and, you're not going to put him in a lot of places where he can make a really bad decision. Right, you're going to try and keep it pretty simple, 2 reads at the most, get him out on the outside, roll him out, do a lot of stuff to protect him. Short throws, and when he does throw long, it's probably deep and outside. So, I mean, they're certainly going to do some things to not put him in a bad spot, but he made some good throws today, and he really did. I mean, Coach made the comment that the moment wasn't too big for him. So I don't envision the moment being too big next week. And now, like I said, had the baptism by fire, scored a touchdown, won the game, and if he's the guy, I think we got a pretty good chance. I mean, he showed well And he's going to make mistakes. A young guy's going to make mistakes, but he played good enough. If he could do that again next week and makes a little bit of improvement, make some more throws, and our defense plays solid, we got a chance to win that game.
Another opportunity for this team to rally around a new quarterback. I mean, they do that just a few weeks ago, and they got to do it again. And I think that puts a lot of pressure on the wide receivers to run cleaner, crisper routes, to make themselves more available, to go after a ball and really fight to get the ball. That would certainly help if a few guys did that. But it'll be fun to see how Utah State prepares this week.
I feel so bad. And just all of a sudden, it just hit me, though, as I feel so bad for Cooper Legas because he was really getting into the field that you just kind of felt like, hey, this team was starting to be his offensively. I mean, the one turnover, tonight's not his fault. I think they would have scored, like Ryan said, more points in this game, and I think we would have been a lot better off and feeling better about our future here in the next little bit with Legas.
Yeah, it's too bad, but the fact of the matter is that's football, right? So this stuff happens. It is next guy up, and luckily, fortunately, the next guy up seems pretty dang good.
Wyoming with the bye week this week.
Yes, they did not. They didn't have to play. They could have a chance to kind of rest up and get ready for a home game and that kind of thing. And we'll have to again come back. And it sounds like get a lot of guys hopefully healthy, which will be hard to do, and then turn around and have to get it back over there on Friday.
Yeah, the real big question is, passing concussion protocol for both Cooper Legas and Byron Vaughns.
Yep.
Can they just with the recovery with the concussion and what's going on there? It looked like Vaughns maybe wasn't quite as significant as Cooper's, but each person's different in how it affects them and how they recover.
Ryan, thanks a lot for joining with us again tonight.
You bet.
And we'll see you next week. And Eric, thank you for joining with us tonight as well.
Always a pleasure.
Okay, and we appreciate, again, Jason Walker. We appreciate Doug Hoffman getting all this stuff here with the Zoom not working. Utah's got to defend one more pass play in this game. Meantime, 24 first downs for the Aggies, 16 for Colorado State. The Aggies were 6 of 16 on third down. Colorado State was 2 of 15. So the Aggies held them. They were one of the worst teams in the country with that. And then as it turned out, Colorado State ends up with 99 rushing yards. So they only got 1 yard in the second half, and they had 163 passing. So they ended up with 262 yards. USC's last throw is batted down, and so that should be just about it in that game. Utah wins by 1. Aggies only threw 14 of 31 for 138 yards, but 390 yards of total offense. So we get close to the 400 we've been getting the last couple of days, and we got 252 on the ground. I think that might be about a season-high rushing or close to what we had against Connecticut, but we did have the 10 penalties, and they had 10 as well. 2 turnovers, Aggies, 1 for the Rams in this game. So that'll finish it up, the stats for Cache Valley Bank always here at the end of the game. We appreciate all of our game day sponsors who make it possible. And so, like, we're figuring about 6:05 next Saturday night to get started. And then the Aggies at Wyoming, it'll be about 7:45, 7:50 that will start on one of the Fox channels. So have the rest of a good weekend, everybody. Aggies win 17-14, and they are 2-1 in conference play. That's it for tonight.
News Talk KVNU Logan, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Sports Talk Radio, KLGN Logan, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.